Control must be maintained. There must always be a Lich King.
What's up guys, today I will talk about King Terenas Menethil II, King of Lordaeron and father of Arthas Menethil. Terenas Menethil II was born in the court of the Kingdom of Lordaeron, one of the strongest human nations. As a member of royal Menethil family, which had ruled the kingdom for generations. After the First War, refugees from the kingdom of Stormwind, led by Sir Anduin Lothar, accompanied by Prince Varian and Khadgar, arrived on the shores of Lordaeron looking for aid of King Terenas. They informed him to prepare for next horde invasion of his kingdom, and he called delegates from neighboring human nations, Elves of Quel'Thalas and Dwarves of Ironforge, to form the alliance against new threat. First, he organized the forces of Lordaeron in defense of capital city against the attack of the Horde during the Second War. Terenas commanded the defenses during the siege of capital city, where his kingdom was almost destroyed by the Horde and he almost killed. But in the end, their sacrifices were not in vain, and the alliance won through, decimating the Horde and rounding up the surviving orcs into interment camps, headed by Aedelas Blackmoor. The Orc war chief Orgrim Doomhammer was kept as the personal prisoner of Terenas, the human king fervently hoping that a treaty could be arranged with the Orcish leader. Terenas thought that if orcs could be kept pacified long enough, they ought to eventually lose their lust for conquest, and as such he pleaded to keep them interned instead of executing them. Despite the end of Second War, peace did not last long. When it was discovered that the rift to the orcs' home world was expanding, Terenas immediately decreed, in conjunction with Varian, who had assumed his rightful place on the throne of Stormwind, and the other kings, to rally the Alliance army that would venture into Draenor in order to retrieve the artifacts stolen by the Horde and end the Orcish threat for good. The Alliance expedition, led by Khadgar and Turalyon, undertook the invasion of Draenor, eventually succeeding and sealing the Dark Portal from the other side, to prevent Draenor's destruction from destroying Azeroth as well. By the way guys, if you want to know more about Draenor destruction, look for my video about Ner'zhul. Now back to the events in Azeroth. Destruction of Portal came up with new problems because Alliance leaders wasn't united once more. There arises a question: what to do with Altera Kingdom succession? As the acceptable choice for everyone was Lord Prestor, and Terenas arranged his wedding with his only daughter Kalia. But this wasn't the end of Alliance quarrels. After threat of Horde disappeared, Elves of Quel'Thalas left the Alliance because it wasn't able to save their trees during war against trolls. Then Gen Greyman ordered to make a wall and isolate his kingdom from the world. Meanwhile, Kingdom of Stormgrade demanded execution of remaining orcs, but Alliance refused, and Stormgrade left too. Remaining kingdoms, Stormwind, Kultiras, Dalaran, and Ironforge, stayed with the Alliance and Lordaeron. Years later, Lordaeron was endangered again by Orcish uprising through Arathi, as well as the plague spreading from north. King Terenas, in order to solve it, called ambassadors of Alliance kingdoms to council.
Yet prisoners they are, good king.
What is the meaning of this? Who are you?
Humanity is in peril. The tides of darkness have come again, and the whole world is poised upon the brink of war.
Enough of this. Guards, remove this madman.
Hear me. The only hope for your people is to travel west, to the forgotten lands of Kalimdor.
Are you mad?
Old Ambassador, I don't know who you are or what you believe, but this is not the time for rambling prophets. Our lands are beset by conflict, but it shall be we who decide how best to protect our people, not you. Now, be gone!
King Terenas decided to send his son Prince Arthas, help Uther, Lightbringer, stop Orcish uprising, and save people of Lordaeron. Weeks later, Terenas heard about strange behavior of his son, which are included in game Warcraft 3, and I described it closely in the story of Arthas, if you remember. After his son sailed northward, after the destruction of Stradholm, Terenas sent messenger to recall army at Uther's request, but no word was heard from them for months. Finally, Prince Arthas returned, victorious over the evil he had faced in Northrend. All of Lordaeron's capital city rejoiced in festival, celebrating the long-awaited return of their heroic prince. Terenas welcomed his son from long journey when Arthas stepped into the throne hall and knelt before him.
Ah, my son.
You no longer need to sacrifice for your people. You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown. I've taken care of everything.
What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
Terenas was killed by his own son, but his spirit remained in Blade Frostmourne. First time we meet him again is during World of Warcraft expansion, as he tells his son that his reign is over. He traveled to the final patch in expansion, when the army of Argent Crusade stormed the Crown Citadel. Next time Terenas' spirit appears in Icecrown Citadel during the battle against Lich King. The players falls victim to the Harvest Soul spell. They are brought into Frostmourne itself, where they find Terenas struggling against the Spirit Warden of the Sword. The player must aid Terenas in defeating it, at which point the blade becomes weakened enough for him to be able to return the player to real fight. At 10%, the Lich King then kills the entire raid and prepares to raise them as his most powerful servants. When Tyrion Fording, frozen for the entire fight, breaks free of his bonds and shatters Frostmourne with the Ashbringer, as the souls claimed by Frostmourne swirls around the Lich King, Terenas' spirit appears to resurrect the dead to finish off immobilized Master of the Scourge, and then he talked to his son.
No king rules forever, my son.
I see. Only darkness.
So guys, this is everything from me about King Terenas. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any suggestion for another one, please leave a comment. I probably make a video about Varian for the next one, but that's will probably like 4-part until I make the whole, because he has a really long story if you see it. Anyway, thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, and we will see you next video. Bye.